So we heard a quote from Chad Lindbergh, who's also in the film, and it went something like this: everyone needs to fall on their face at some point. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us how not only did you hit some rough patches, but also the gentlemen in the movie did as well, in their own careers and their own lives?
I think what Chad meant by that too is you learn from mistakes. You learn from falling, you learn from failing, you learn from trying and not really getting what you want, and you also learn from getting what you want and losing it. So it's like, I think we had all aspects in at the house, and with, you know, I mean, you do see it in the movie My Big Break. So it's almost like without it, you really almost, if everything is just great and you're working, and it's almost you're clueless in a way. And once you hit a problem, I think a lot of people either they just can't cope, you know. And it's, you know, it's part of learning. It's like you can't every time go to an audition you're gonna get a part. It's like, you know, and you can't every time you make a movie you think you're gonna sell it, you'll sell it. I mean, it makes you more determined to falling and like being really smacked in the face, because you know, it just makes you tougher, you know.
A lot of the film touches on addiction issues.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think people self-medicate so much in Hollywood? Is it just part of the lifestyle? It's more free. People are more in touch with sort of wanting to feel things, and so since
I think it's the loneliness of the town. I think it's the loneliness, and I think it's it's very competitive. There is a lot of people feel here very vulnerable, I think, and then they feel like that the drugs, drinking, or whatever they are in, like to do, is that actually gives them that kind of sense of escape. So it starts to kind of feel like this is okay, and it's almost like there's a lot of tension here for because there's a lot of rejection. So if you're being rejected every single day when you go out 2-3 times on an audition, even if you're lucky to get these auditions, it's very difficult, I think, to put yourself through as an actor, to go to casting directors, to auditions 2-3 times a day if you're lucky to get that. And you know, you would hear feedback like, you know, your nose is too big, your chin is not this, your eyes are not the right color, you're not handsome enough, or she's not sexy enough, or she doesn't have the right accent. I mean, it's a constant rejection. I think people get very traumatized by it, you know. I mean, people are attacking the way you look, the way you talk. It's too much for a being, you know, for a person to go through, you know.
Do you think there's a way to be in this business without numbing yourself through drugs, or do you think it's almost impossible?
Oh yeah, I don't know. A lot of people do it with that. I mean, some people are able to do it. I don't think everybody. I'm not even saying that you have to do drugs. A lot of people don't do the drugs. A lot of people start doing the drugs and then they quit and they realize that's just stupid to do. You really don't, you know. It's because you're taking a negative and then you put another negative on top of it. So it's like you're getting rejection every day, and it's very hard here. So the solution is to actually find a way to deal with it, but instead you go do drugs on top of it, and you just might as well just like go kill yourself, because you're not gonna accomplish anything from that, and it's always a bad ending.
So you put together a new version of the film, you call it My Big Break.
Yeah.
What's then your next step? Are you calling all of the guys, you know, Chad, Brad?
Well, they do know that I did, that the new cut was completed. They were, again, because we live in different places now, so I couldn't get everybody in one place to watch the movie, and I didn't think that this was going to be the movie of like, oh, let's have a premiere for it. It was too intense to have everybody in one place, and also to deal with this whole thing. So it was like the movie was out, and they watched it all at their own time when they were able to. I don't think Wes seen it yet, from what I've heard, you know. I mean, we do talk through emails occasionally, but yeah, we didn't really watch the film together.
And who do you think this film is for?
Actors and filmmakers. Sorry, yeah, actors and filmmakers.
And why do you think that this film is so emotional to so many people? I know for us it was emotional. we've heard from other people that have seen it that's
Yeah.
more emotional.
Well, it's always even emotional for people that are not in the business too, because I think it's anytime you have a story about being young and having possibilities and opportunities, and then you watch a movie and you feel people are very they have this sadness about that they lost something or that they had everything, because having everything, especially in this town, is very it's not easy to get. And so when you sit and you watch and you go, oh, I think people always relate to when you have characters in the movie that are going, you know, if I could just go back when I had this opportunity, or if I was young enough, or if I could get another part. I think that really freaks people out. And I think some people don't see past that. It's almost like, I got it once, I can't get it back. And I think people really overreact to that.
Do you think that people don't understand when big stars have walls around them? They think that, oh, they've changed, they're stuck up, but really maybe it's more self-preservation?
I think for actors to have also that wall around is ridiculous, because I mean, any working actor should realize and understand that, like, you're so lucky to be working, that it's like you shouldn't really have any demands, you shouldn't really have any weird behavior and insist on having this or that. I think it's just like completely, I don't buy that. I think people that do that, they either they just create a horrible reputation for themselves. People don't want to work with them, and it's like, it's just not creative, it's not cool, and they just create that world around them because they're just irritable. And no, I don't think so.
Do you think that new things will happen with the film, or are you happy with where it's at? I mean, are you planning to take it to festivals, or you have it on Distrify, you have it on your site for sale?
Yes. No, we stopped submitting to festivals and all that. It's just, I feel like it's done. It's done, it's out there. I don't fight it. I realize that, you know, the internet is amazing. People are just, they find stuff. So, you know, so we promote it online. People get to know it. People like it when they see it. It's this one thing about letting people know about it. It's like anybody that sees the movie likes it. The thing is, how are you going to find that person? Well, that costs money to advertise. And if you're going to do it that way, then you need somebody else to pick it up. And so we didn't go in that route. We just have it on our website, and when people search one of the actors or they look up the movie, there's always a very easy way to, like, just look on the site, and either you could go get it from Amazon or from Distrify and watch it. And I think it's nice to just have it sit there, and like, it's almost like it's always ready for whoever is ready to see it. And you know, we did the festivals for a while, and that's it. It's just out there now. Yeah, it's time to move on, I guess.
Well, what was it that was inside of you that you couldn't let go of the film? Because obviously you had moved away, but you came back to it and you pieced it back together.
It's a great story. It's a really good story, because the first cut, I thought it was a good movie, but it didn't have the consequences. It didn't have the rejection as much. It didn't have you know, the great kind of elements of a story where you go out, it's the hero's journey, where you're like trying to go get something, and then you get so much, and then you lose everything, and then you come back broken, and then you rebuild. I mean, you can't write that. So it had all these elements, and I'm like, are you kidding? This is great, you know? So that's really the part that I'm really proud of.